Okay, so we talked about this Bhagavadgita Dhyanam, where it is Krishna who is milking the Upanishads, which are compared to cows, and the milk coming out is the Bhagavad Gita, and who is taking it in Arjuna, who is called Partha here. Partha means who is connected to Prithvi, and who are residents of Prithvi, means everybody, every entire humankind is Partha here. Partha, Arjuna is representing them and taking in all this good coming out of in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Now, before going into this Dwadash Adhyaya, 12th Adhyaya, just a little bit background about Mahabharatam and the context for Bhagavad Gita, which we know already. But now when we say Bhagavad Gita, it is famously known as Gita. Gita means song. Gita means song, we know that. Geetam, Gita, Geet, song. So this song is sung by Krishna. Now in the actual battlefield, it may not be song, right? With the raga and all that. They were just conversing. And this length is, the total there are 700 shlokas in this Bhagavad Gita, which is part of Mahabharata. So just before Mahabharata war starts, this conversation happens. Now, it may not be that long, like 700, which takes about 2.5 hours if you go fast, reading fast. So the conversation which happened between Krishna and Arjuna there was collected by Vedavyasa, and he put that into Mahabharatam in the form of this 700 shlokas. Now it is called Bhagavad Gita because Bhagavan, Krishna, it is his Gita, his song. Now there are other Gitas also in Puranas and other books. Like there are what other Gitas you might have heard. There are Kapila Gita, which is sung by Rishi Kapil. Kapil was also Vishnu's avatar, one of the avatars. Now 10 avatars are famous, but there are other avatars also, like 22 avatars and more than that, which are famous. One of them was Kapila Rishi, which was sung by Kapila. That is called Kapila Gita, which is also famous. It's very good. And then also there are other Gitas, like Yama Gita is also there. And in Bhagavata itself, there are two other Gitas. One is Akrura Gita, then Uddhava Gita. Many Gitas are also there. But this one is the most famous. Now, Uddhava Gita means Krishna, that is also told by Krishna only. Krishna tells it to Uddhava. That is much later than this, after the war. However, this is called Bhagavad Gita, and this is the most famous, and without any adjective also, if it is used like just Gita, it is understood that it is Bhagavad Gita, no other Gita. Okay. Now there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, and 18 chapters. There are so there are many commentaries on this. There are a lot of commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because this is most widely studied, popularly studied, analyzed, interpreted text of our Sanatana Dharma. And the interpretations are varied. There are diverse interpretations. So the book one you have is it just gives the word-to-word translation, right? That, What is it called?
Yes, Bhagavadgita as it is.
Bhagavad-gita as it is by ISKCON. Yeah. So that is good. So yeah, it gives word-to-word translation, plus there is some summary also, which is great, and that gives most like direct translation, which you can understand. But otherwise, each of those shlokas, what is behind them, what is the philosophy behind each of them? There are different bhasha. Bhasha means commentaries.
Meaning
Commentaries, and then each bhashyas also have their secondary commentaries. Commentary on commentary. They are called Vyakhyana. Vyakhyana is commentary on Bhasha. Bhasha comes on the top level. And then there are again tertiary, third level commentaries are also there. So it's a very vast commentaries are available here. Now, so Vyakhyana and Tika, they are also called Tika also. Tika means commentary, notes. Tika, Tippani, they are also available. So each 18 adhyayas, each one is named something like Vishala Yoga, Karma Yoga, etc., etc. So the 10th one is Vibhuti Yoga, and 11th we saw Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, and 12th is Bhakti Yoga. Right? Bhakti Yoga, this chapter is the smallest one. Right? It has only 20 shlokas. So what we can do first, I will read the 20 shlokas, which is easy, so you can get the overall idea first, what this chapter is about, and then we can start going through each shloka and what it means. So this Bhakti Yoga seems like it's very simple one, 20 shlokas, but it has very in-depth meaning is behind each of the shlokas, each of the words there. So sometimes it is difficult to comprehend in the sense. So if you just look at the overall meaning here, it is simple. But how these commentators they interpret it, it goes very deep. So the first one, Arjuna Vacha. I just read 20 of them. Evam satatayukta ye bhaktasvam parvipasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam teshanke yoga vittamaha. So here is the first question by Arjuna. And Sri Bhagavan Vacha, he is answering. Maya veshamano imam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaste me yuktatamamataha etvaksharam aniddesham avyaktam parvipasate sarvatra gamachintancha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanyamyendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhutahite rataah क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ता सक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चरात्वार्थमय्या वेशतु चेतसाम् मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमोपव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि अथ हि तदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथ कुरुत यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् फलत्यागस्त्यागाच्छान्तिरनन्तरम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः यस्मान्नोद्विजते लोको लोकान्नोद्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो ये स मे प्रियः अनपेक्षश्च च दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समस्सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिः भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः एतु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्विपासते श्रद्दधानामत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम 12ोऽध्यायः। So this is it, the Bhakti Yoga. Now the first question, so we have again who else is there on the call?
किं महोदय?
अन्य कोऽपि अस्ति किम्?
I don't know महोदय.
Namaste, Vasumati Bhagini. So if you want to, if you have any comments, questions, you can just ask, okay? Arjuna Vacha. So last one we talked about this Ekadash Adhyaya, which was the Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga. So in that what happens is showing the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, and before that also Krishna has very much asserted that he is the most, he is the Paramatma, so universal controller, everything. He has asserted that. So this is something we'll have to go, you have to keep in that mind and go with that first. So because then there will be a lot of things which are easy to understand. So Krishna, without any hesitation, without any doubt, he is not putting that, he is putting that forth, that he is the controller, he is the ultimate truth, and he is the ultimate, the topmost super energy, or whatever you call it, Bhagavan, and nobody else. So you upasana or puja of anybody you do, it will all come to me. He has already asserted it without even not a slightest of doubt. And with that we'll have to keep a mind in that and start. So he has already established and told him that I propagated this knowledge to everyone initially. I started this, I created this universe, I propagated this everywhere. And he clearly mentions I. There is no, he is not hesitating there. I means him. He is the Bhagavan. He is not saying that, oh, there is another Bhagavan, there is this person, there is that person. So he is not doing that. He is very clear on that. And I propagated this knowledge throughout this universe. Then Arjuna asks, how can I believe you? You are in front of me, and you say that you taught this, you brought this into universe by first telling it to Manu and Surya and other people. So it was a parampara. So all that, what is parampara? So you got that parampara, traditional. So from one person to another person, it flowed from for many years. So Arjuna asks, how do I know? And how do I believe you? So you are in front. You are right now. You are my contemporary. So how do I know that? So because those all people were many years ago. That he very clearly says that we have, both of us have had many births. I know all of them, but you don't know. You don't remember all of them. So he clearly establishes that baseline first. Okay. Then finally, in the last 11th chapter, he also shown the Vishwarupa. So just to remove his any remaining doubt that how do I know? Because Arjuna again asked in the 11th chapter, how do I know that you are the controller? He all said that, how can I believe you? So he showed his Vishwarupa, and then Arjuna now believes him. Now, Arjuna's question here is starting with reference to that. एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ताः त्वां पर्युपासते ये च अपि अव्यक्षरम् अव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. Here, very valid question he puts there, Arjuna. Arjuna vacha, Arjuna said, what? Evam satatayukta ye bhaktaha tvam paryupasate. Before this you have told me, evam means like this. Satatayuktaha ye, satatayuktaha, because in the just before the 11th chapter we read, last one, what is there? Last shloka of 11th chapter.
Last shloka was, that was about karma.
Yeah, what does it read?
The whole thing, I won't be...
The shloka, only 11th chapter, last shloka.
Muktak. Hold it?
I'll read it one. It's here somewhere.
I can give you. Here it is. Here, last one.
मत्कर्मकृत् मत्परमो मद्भक्तः संगवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः समामेति पांडव. Matkarmakrut matparamo madbhakta sangarchita. He is saying that you do all the karmas, means all your duty, matkarma, towards me, related to me. And madbhakta, you be my bhakta, madbhakta, my bhakta. Sangavarchitaha means without any attachments. Like that he is saying. So one who is like this, he mameti, he comes to me, he gets me. So he is saying that one who is like matkarma, one who is doing this matkarma means all the karmas, all the work, all the duties related towards me, he comes to me. Now Arjuna asks, evam satatayuktaya bhaktastam parvipasate. You just now said that to do this, and people who are doing like this all the time, your duty is towards you. Bhaktatam paryupasate. Now paryupasate, there are a couple of people here who understand Sanskrit, so I'm doing this little bit Sanskrit here also. Paryupasate means pariupasate. Just upasate means upasana. People who are doing upasana. Now pari is adding. Paryupasate. Remember that in Sanskritam, especially in the Shastra, in the scriptures, they use these words very precisely in a special meaning. They just don't use this casually, the words, where I said Partha, Dhananjaya, or any words. So we have to keep people who interpret the Bhasha commentaries, they write this very nicely. Bhaktaha tvam paryupasate. Paryupasate means pariupasate, by all means. Just upasate means upasana, doing upasana. Paryupasate means by different means, pari, right? By different means they are upasana, doing upasana. So that is one group. Yeah? Now in the second line what he says, echa api aksharam avyaktam paryupasate tesham ke yoga vittamaha. There is a second group. What are they doing? Second group. Api aksharam avyaktam. The other group is doing the upasana of akshara and avyakta. Akshara and avyakta. So between these two groups, tesham ke yoga vittamaha. So which one are the better ones? He is asking question. Now this is where the confusion starts. Confusion and a debate. Confusion means the debate between the commentators. So there are prasiddha commentaries are there. There are a lot of commentaries, but in that generally you can categorize like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, and Madhvacharya. One is like Advaita, Shankaracharya, Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita or Tattvavada of Madhvacharya. So here the difference of opinion comes. Now, what is Aksharam Avyaktam? If you just look at the words, what is the Avyakta and Akshara? What is the meaning given there?
It says over here that unmanifested. So they say that unmanifested is about me. So which one? Mainly they want to say whether to pray to him, to be devotee of him, or to be impersonal devotee of Brahma. So which one is asking questions, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what now we have to know what Krishna is saying. That which one is correct? That's what is Arjuna's question.
Now the problem here is, if you just look at the literal meaning of these words, Akshara, Avyakta. Akshara means what? Kshara means one which...
Beyond senses.
No, Kshara means one which gets destroyed. Nash. The one which gets destroyed, that is Kshara. Akshara means one which doesn't get destroyed. Akshara. Avyakta means what? Vyakta means what? So we say that in Hindi, right? Vyakta hota hai. And what is Vyakta? Vyakta ho gaya.
In person.
Yeah.
No.
Prakat ho.
Prakat. Be as a person.
Vyakta.
Avyakta is like you have not been able to see or is not able
Avyakta means aprakat means uska sharir nahi hai. So there's no shape, shapeless something.
Yeah.
Avyakta. So these are the general literary meanings of these words. Now, with taking these literary words as it is, if you interpret them, now the question, it looks like the Arjuna is asking, hey, you told me the first one, Satatayuktaya, you showed this Vishwarupa, and then you told people to do that upasana. And now, between the people who do that kind of upasana, and now, between the people who do the upasana of Akshara and Avyakta, which is Aprakata, and Akshara means Nasharayata, which has no Nasha, destruction. Between these two, which one is a better path, which has a better way to do it. Now here the debate goes on, which I am not going to repeat right today, that Nirguna, Saguna. So there are two ways. Saguna means the Paramatma, which has all the characters, gunas, and Nirguna means characterless. Yeah? So that is one interpretation. But if you take that interpretation, there are problems which contradicts with what Krishna himself says, not in this Bhagavad Gita, and there are contradictions, and it faced the interpretations in other scriptures also. Okay. But in this Bhagavad Gita itself, it contradicts with different things, because in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna Krishna very clearly says in other place, somebody in Krishna very clearly says Aksharadapi Chottamaham. In other places he says there are three types of principles in this world, in this universe. One is Kshara, then Akshara. These understand. Kshara means what? Just now I said. Kshara means one which goes to destruction, which will be destroyed. Okay. So other one is Akshara. Akshara means what? One which is not destroyed, which is forever present. So these two is very clear for us. What is Kshara? So we see all this is Kshara, right? Everything destroyed, at least at the time of Pralaya. And then we also are, we in the sense our body is Kshara, but our Atma is Nashvara. Atma doesn't die. It is also Anadi Ananta. It is also forever. It is also eternal, right? Hello.
You started long back.
Just 10 minutes. Yeah.
And we clock, right?
No, we did not.
Oh, we just started first sloka. Okay.
Chapter 12.
Chapter 12.
So should be non-situation. এখানে শুনতে না হলো ও চ্যাপ্টার 12 এই শ্লোকটা স্টার্ট করো তুমি জাস্ট একটু দেখে নাও তাহলে তুমি বুঝতে পারবে
So what we just started is the first shloka, which says Arjuna is asking evam satatayuktaye bhaktastvam paripasate e chaptaksharam avyaktam teshanke yogavettam. First of all, this chapter 12 is called Bhaktiyoga. So the importance of bhakti is underlined here. Bhakti. Every shloka when Krishna says, he talks about bhakti. Okay? Now Arjuna, his first question in the first shloka, Arjuna is asking evam satatayuktaye bhaktastam paripasate. So this is with reference to the previous chapter's last shloka, just previous what Krishna has explained. Krishna in the previous chapter he explained that mat karma krut mat parama bhakto. So you do upasana of me all the time. So people who upasana of me all the time, they reach me, they obtain me. So that is what he is promising. Now Arjuna is asking. Arjuna is also jnani. Arjuna is a very learned person. He has learned all the shastras and all that. He is not just sitting there knowing nothing. Tell me everything. He knows everything. So with that shastra jnana, he is asking all these shastra related questions. So he knows that, okay, now you told me this. This is the first question. You told me this. People who do this kind of upasana or bhakti in you, they reach you. That you told me. Now the second line it says, Eche api aksharam avyaktam teshamke yogamitamaha. But what about other people, he is asking. There is other group of people who do the upasana of akshara and avyakta. So what would they get? In these two groups of people, yogavittama, which is the better way, or who are the better people? Not better people, which is the better way, he is asking. So now we are discussing what is akshara and avyakta. Akshara avyakta, by literal meaning, akshara means one which has no destruction. Avyakta means which is not vyakta. Right? Vyakta means visible, we can say, not visible. So here there are many commentaries, vyakhyanas, which go like some vyakhyanas, some commentators, to take it this literal meaning, which goes with nirguna saguna. So saguna, first line says saguna upasana. So like murti puja, you can say, idol puja. So whether that is better or avyakta means nirguna or nirakara, without murti, just do dhyana, or I don't know how the nirguna is done, whether that path is better. That is the literal meaning commentators are taking. What I was saying is, so the other commentators, some other commentators, they differ from that interpretation. So what they are saying is that, because if you take that literal meaning, there are contradictions in other places comes, if you take the saguna nirguna interpretations. So we were just talking about kshara and akshara, because in Krishna, before, in many places, he says there are three principles in the world. Two principles, obviously, kshara and akshara. Kshara and akshara means, kshara means one which gets destroyed. So what is kshara and akshara means, that is easy to understand. Right? What is kshara and akshara in this word? Kshara means one which gets destroyed, which is like everything, all these physical things which are in this world. At least at the time of pralaya, everything is destroyed. Everything goes away. Now, akshara means one which is not destroyed, which you can think of like Bhagavan, Paramatma, like that, which is not akshara. But he makes a distinction very clearly in Gita itself. Aksharaadapi chottama aham Bhagavan Purushaha iti. So he very clearly mentions, I am beyond the akshara, he says that. So what is akshara now? The question comes, right? If the akshara is not Bhagavan, he is saying that I am beyond, better than that akshara, I am above akshara, he says that. So what is akshara? Question comes. So the interpretation has to be done properly, taking into consideration other scriptures also, not just the literal meaning. Yes, he is also akshara, right? He is also Akshara because he is also not destructible. Even our Atmas are also Akshara because they are also Anadi Ananta. They don't die, they are not born. So they just go through these bodies, material bodies. So they go through this journey. So they are also Akshara. So Kshara, but in a sense, Kshara means our bodies get destroyed because materialistically they are destroyed. Every birth and death that we have. That way we are Kshara. Now what is Akshara? Akshara means, now this is another tattva. Tattva means principle, right? You can say English in principle. So this is called a Prakriti tattva. Prakriti tattva means all this materialistic or Prithvi, all this, anything in the universe you are saying, all the stars, planets, everything moving around, anything in this world, that is a nature, right? That's a nature which is Prakriti, which is Jada. What is in English called Jada? No, not Jada. No. Jada means inanimate. It has no consciousness. It has no consciousness.
Stula, like this guy.
Like this guy. So this is there. This is real. But it has no consciousness. Right? It exists, but it has no consciousness. But our Atma, our body has, it is like this one. It has no consciousness, but it is a cover for us. But our Atma has a consciousness, right? So that is different. Now there is another level which is Prakriti, means for all this, which is inanimate objects, everything in this universe, not only this table, everything. For all that is controlled by Prakriti, which is attributed, and that is controlled by, it has to have a conscious entity controlling it. It cannot just act by its own. Everything is not moving on its own, right? So it has to be controlled. There has to be some energy or entity controlling it. That is attributed to Lakshmi Tattva, Sri Tattva. So Lakshmi is who is described, you can say metaphorically, as the wife of Narayana or Vishnu. She is the controlling factor or the goddess of all this Jada or the inanimate object, which is Prakriti. So that principle is there. We'll have to understand that. And then what Krishna is saying is, I am as a Paramatma is beyond that, above that. So he is even one step above that Prakriti principle. In this case, Lakshmi or Sri, you can call it whatever. But that principle is there, which is governing this universe. Everything in this universe is under control of Lakshmi, but that itself is controlled by Vishnu Tattva or Bhagavan, you can call Paramatma. So we have these three levels. So one is Paramatma, then we have Paramatma, which is like you can call energy. Okay? Energy, and then the second one is Sthula, is saying, which on it itself it cannot have any movement or anything, any characters or any. It cannot act by itself. It has to be driven by some consciousness. That is Prakriti, which needs a goddess. You can call goddess whatever. So that one is Lakshmi or Sri in our scriptures. And then we have the other Atmas, everybody else, which are controlled by these two. Topmost Paramatma, and then we have Lakshmi, and then all other Atma, souls, you can call. And obviously there are inanimate objects also, which just float around. Yeah. So here, Krishna in one of the slokas is saying, these are Kshara means one which gets destroyed. Nothing is destroyed actually. Nothing is destroyed in this world. We already have this law, physical law. That nothing is destroyed, nothing is created. So that is always in our scriptures also it is correct. Nothing is destroyed, nothing is created. But we call it Kshara because it goes through the cycles. Unlike this Lakshmi and Paramatma, they don't go through the cycles. Even in Pralaya also, they do not have any variations. They control because they are beyond that. But other than that, everybody else, including the Sthula Padartha and Atma, they go through this cycle. So that's why they're called Kshara. And then we have Akshara, which is Lakshmi. And then we have the Paramatma. So in the other places, he very clearly explains, I am beyond this Akshara. So we'll have to consider that and interpret this one here. What he's saying here, Arjuna is asking, Echapaksharam anibdesham avyaktam. No, what I'm reading. Echapaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yogavittamaha. So between these two, now we take that evam satatikta. So one group is doing the upasana of you, and other group is doing the upasana of this Lakshmi, who is referred to as Akshara and Avyakta. Because this is not just the interpretation of the commentators, because they also give the reference of other Veda Vakyam. In Vedas also, Lakshmi is referred to as Avyakta and Akshara. So with that reference, it has to be understood. So between these two, which one is the better way to reach you, obtain you? So the next one, second one. So this is a very the key point to understand. Otherwise, if you think that Saguna Nirguna, yes, that also can be applied, and you keep on applying which one is the better one. So that way also it goes. So the next one, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Now his answer start by Bhagavana. He is replying. Maya Vishyamano imam nityakta pasate shraddhaya parayopetaha teme yuktatama mataha. Here I am separating the words, which is also in that book, I think, right? Mai aveshya manaha e mam nityuktaha upasate shraddhaya parayopetaha te me yukta tamaha mataha. So he is giving his decision, or Bhagavan is telling which way is easier. He is saying that Mai aveshya manaha emam nityuktaha upaste. People who nityukta upaste, who do the upasana by doing the Mai aveshya manaha. Mana means mind. Mai avesh. Mai means in me, inside me, into me. Aveshya. Aveshya means completely into him, putting their mind completely into him. Who do the upasana and shraddhaya parayopetaha. Shraddhaya means Shraddha is important. Shraddha means what? What is Shraddha?
Devotion of that feeling.
Shraddha is submission. So Shraddha, as a very simple translation, is belief. But Shraddha is not actually simple belief. Shraddha also has your complete belief with understanding. It is not Andha Shraddha. Somebody tells you something, we just believe. It is not Shraddha. It is just a belief. But Shraddha is with jnana, with your knowledge, your understanding, you believe it. Then Shraddha. So with Shraddha, people who put their mind completely into me, and they always do the nityukta, always thinking like this, they do this upasana, they yuktatamaha, that is the better way, he says. That is the better thing to do, he says, rather than doing the avyakta and akshara upasana. Rather than doing that, you can say nirguna, or you can also say the Lakshmi tattva, Lakshmi upasana. Better than that, this one, doing my upasana is better, he says. Now he has to explain that. So the next one, third one, etu aksharam anirdeshyam. The third shloka is etu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam parvipasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam. It has to be combined with the next two. That's why the next two shlokas are also with there. Sanyam mendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hiteratah. That is the next one. So third and fourth should be together understood. So here the separation of words. Hetu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyamya indriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mam eva sarvabhuta hiteratah. So he is saying, okay, now I told you the people who do the Maya Upasana, that is the better way to do it rather than doing the Lakshmi Upasana. Why? He is saying, Etu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam. People who do this aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam. Aksharam means again akshara tattva, which is Lakshmi tattva. Anirdeshyam avyaktam. One which is known as anirdeshya and avyakta. Now, why is this known as anirdeshya avyakta? That is a question, but these are the reference, the words which are referred to this Lakshmi Shri in the Vedas also. Akshara anirdeshya avyakta. Because Lakshmi is cannot be easily realized. You know, what do you call in English? It cannot be easily, she cannot be compared to Bhagavan or Krishna, Vishnu, whatever, Hari, Narayana. Compared to that, Lakshmi Upasana is difficult. Because we know that Devi Upasana, there are a lot of rules are there. Like Kali Upasana. Kali is also Devi, Lakshmi Devi only. So there are a lot of rules that have to be followed there. It's not easy. So te tu aksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam parvipasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam. So these are all adjectives or visheshanam for that Lakshmi tattva or akshara tattva or sarvatragam. This sarvatra, how is this Lakshmi tattva? It is sarvatraga. Sarvatra means it is everywhere, pervading everywhere. It is pervading everywhere because nature is everywhere, right? So that is how the nature's prakriti tattva is there. And achintyam, so it cannot be completely comprehended, achintyam, and kutastham achalam dhruvam. So there are more adjectives here. Kutastham iti. Kutastham means one who, stha means one who stays. Where? Kuta. Kuta means here akasha. Kuta means space. Akasha, avakasha, or space. Kutastham, so her name or this principle of akshara is also referred to as sarvatraga, the one which is everywhere, and achintya, which cannot be fully comprehended. Kutastha, one which is in the space everywhere, and achalam means nischala, doesn't move or wave. So in this case, move from where? So achalam dhruvam means very sthira. It doesn't again. It's very firm. Achalam dhruvam. So here achala is interpreted as it doesn't move from the Vishnu bhakti. So because, as you know, this Sita is also known as the Sita or Lakshmi or even Rukmini, which are incarnation of Lakshmi. They are Nitya aviyogini. She doesn't separate from Bhagavan anytime. She is always with Bhagavan. So Nitya aviyogini means there is no separation between them. Even though in Rama Avatar you might find that Sita was taken away, but that is just for the worldly purpose. But in reality, Prakriti and Purusha, which is the you can consider many other, you might be knowing that many other, like in Japanese cultures, they also have this yin yang type. So they are like complementary. They are never separated. They cannot be, because if you think of energy as the Purusha, which is pervading everywhere into all the objects, and this object itself is controlled by Prakriti, they cannot be separated. They have to act together for creation, for everything. However, that energy is at the upper level than the one controlling this nature. So, Achintyam Kutastham Achalam Dhruvam. So these are the words used for that Prakriti Tattva. Then this Prakriti Tattva, people who do the upasana of this Prakriti Tattva, how they do it and what is the way to do it? Sanniyamya Indriya Gramam Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha Te Prapnuvanti Mameva Sarvabhutit. So how do they do the upasana of this Prakriti Tattva? They have to do Sanniyamya Indriya Gramam. Indriya means you know all our sensory organs. So Indriya Grama means collection, all our collection of this group of sensory organs or senses. Sanniyamya, they control it. Niyamana, yama means controlling. Niyamana means controlling. Sanniyamya. So again, there is some is added. Some is added in addition to niyamya. Just niyamya would have been good enough to say controlled. They control their senses, but the some is added means they control it very tightly, very well, with their effort, conscious effort. These people who are doing the upasana, they are doing this sanniyamya. They control their senses, indriyam. Sarvatra samabuddhayaha. They look everything as sama. Now, everything in this world, everybody else, they think that it is sama. Now, sama, we'll talk about that later. Sama has different meanings. You can think right now as equal. Equal is not the right word, but sama. Now, te prapnuvanti mameva. Now, you say that the people who do this upasana of this Prakriti Tattva, Vyakta, Akshara, Anirdesha, te prapnuvanti mameva. So what happens here? They prapnuvanti mameva means they also come to me only, finally. Okay? So, that is what he's saying. Sarvabhuta hiterataha. That is another thing he's saying. Sarvabhuta hiterataha. They are doing the good thing to other people. They live as a well-mannered people, so with controlling their senses, and they do the upasana of this avyakta, akshara, and all that. But what happens finally to them? They reach me. Mameva prapnuvanti. They reach me only. Now the next one says, Kleshaha adhikaraha tesham, kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam, avyakta hi gatir dukkham deha vadhiravapyate. So, Kleshaha, now Arjuna might be saying, now this is how the commentators are interpreting this. Now, they are also coming to you, right? Lakshmi or Avyakta people, or if you want to say Nirguna, Nirakara, who do that upasana, they are also coming to you, and who are doing your direct upasana, they are coming to you. So, what is the difference? Let them do whatever they want, right? So, and why are you saying, the question comes, why are you saying that is the better way? Which is the better way? Directly doing my upasana is the better way. Why? That question comes. Here the next one is saying, Kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta he gatir dukkham deha vadhiravapyate. Kleshaha adhikataraha tesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatihi dukkham deha vadhihi avapyate. So he is saying that if both finally come to me only, but if they go through the other way, so it's like a long cut, not shortcut. So you are coming to the Lakshmi thing. Klesha adhikatara. Klesha means trouble, we can say, or trouble, or it's more daunting, you can say. Klesha adhikatara, it is more. Avyakta chetase, avyakta sakta chetasam. Who are interested in that avyakta, who are interested in that prakriti tattva, who are doing that kind of sadhana, for them it is more difficult. Klesha is saying this. And avyakta hi gatihi dukkham dehavadhir vartate. No? Dehavadhihi, people like us, normal people, mortals, who are doing their sadhana, what happens? Avyakta hi gatihi dukkham dehavadhi. People who are following that avyakta path. Dukkham dehavadhir. Dukkha means they go through more difficult times. Difficult times.
He is referring Lakshmi and anything Bhagavadgita, Vishnu, Bhasha, Shiva.
Right?
They
right.
also Devta we call, right?
Right. So so here in the entire,
the soul doesn't come from Devta, it comes from the Paramatma, right?
So there are interpretations here. In the entire Bhagavad Gita, there is no reference to as a Paramatma or another God. So in general, we'll have to go. Let's go with that. That Paramatma, what he is referring to as Paramatma is himself, Krishna. And after that, there is one interpretation, or some interpretations, they refer to this Avyakta as Lakshmi or Prakriti Tattva. Some interpreters, they interpret as Nirguna, Nirakara. So same, Krishna only. So one is Saguna form, another is Nirguna or Nirakara form, or idolized. Okay? That you can think. But so either we have to think that one is the topmost Paramatma, and the next one is Paramatma could be, you can think, if you are in that school of philosophy, commentators, which is Nirguna Saguna. So, but there is only one Paramatma. There is no Shiva, Brahma, etc. But there is only one Narayana only. And the second one is this Lakshmi Tattva, which is the Prakriti God, goddess. Then everything else is Kshara or Atma, including Brahma, Shiva, whatever. Garuda.
Our interpretation, right? Prakriti Tattva.
Our form.
No, not our form. But it was human being, the soul, those who came into earth, it's their interpretation, not actually how these Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, Narayan, they call Devta, right? No, or are they really a Paramatma?
No. So one clear interpretation here by any school of thought, most of them, but there are other like minor ones where everybody is Devata, that I'm discounting. I'm not touching that part. But major schools of thought here. One is Parabrahma. You can say Parabrahma, which is the supreme entity. Now here Krishna is saying he himself is the supreme entity. So we're talking Bhagavad Gita. So let's not go to any other scriptures or school of thought. Here Bhagavad Gita we're talking. Krishna is very clearly saying he himself is the Parabrahma, Paramatma. Okay. Now the next one is the Prakriti is there. There is one Prakriti Abhimani Devata, who is, in this case, we are referring, we can refer to him as with any name, but in this case, we are referring as Sri or Lakshmi. Okay. Now, these two, in an Anglican call, now these two, Parabrahma and this goddess of nature, who is the supreme goddess of nature, who is the one level next below this Parabrahma. These two, they are Akshara. They are beyond this time. They are beyond this Pralaya. Because Pralaya they do this, all this Pralaya, Srishti, etc.
They don't go through incarnation.
Yeah, they don't go through this cycles, etc. But other than these two, everybody else goes through the cycles, including Brahma, Shiva, etc., including we, our Atma also. So what we call Devata, they are just a different category of Atma. Different. So we are not Devatas. We are not Devatas, but we are Manushas. So we have a category. We are a group. So there are different kinds of Atmas. So Manushya group. So they come into this Manushya Janma, etc. They also go to other births. And then Devatas, they go through this other Brahma, Indra, Shiva, whatever. So they have different categories. But ultimately, at the end, Pralaya, when it comes, everybody except these two, their body is destroyed. Our body is destroyed. Atma doesn't get destroyed. So Atma, they float. There are again different in the Shastras and all that. There is descriptions are there. What happens to Atma and all that. But you can say they go dormant again, dormant state. And when the next Srishti starts, they come again into next birth, etc. The next cycle starts. Then what happens to Brahma, Shiva? That is also descriptions are there. So here, but these two, they always remain there, because as you can imagine, right? Parabrahma, obviously, nothing happens. He is the supreme one. Then Prakriti, the nature, what we see, this one is stable as a shape. It might get destroyed, but the atom doesn't get destroyed, right? That still remains. It floats. Yeah. And there has to be somebody controlling that atom, or this ocean of atoms. So that is the Prakriti Tattva, or the consciousness which is controlling universe. And okay, so
universe also get destroyed and again it comes, right? Big Bang.
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
Right. Can I take a bathroom break?
Yes. What's the time?
I'll stop the recording for a moment. Okay. Kleshaha adhikatara. So people who come through that path.
আজকে ভালো দিন, সবাই আসছে। No, I didn't hear that. उन्होंने फोन किया, बोला मैं हम आ रहे हैं। नूतन साथे দেখা হবে। And then नूतन फैमिली আছে।
अच्छा, let
That's what I was saying.
So that is difficult, he says. So now, next one, sixth one.
Sixth and seventh together.
एतु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्. So he said in the last one.
वो बोला मुझे देखकर पता समझ में नहीं आएगा, but I said whatever I can, whatever I'm understanding, I'm more than enough for me.
Yeah. So eta sarvan. So the last one he said it's difficult. That path is difficult, and then now he says eto sarvani karmani maya sanyasya matparaha. People who, those who
show devotion to him.
Sanyasya matpara, all their karma means what they do, right? Whatever they are doing, they sanyasya means they do the arpana in me. What is it? Arpana?
They are submitting.
Yeah, they submit everything to him. Sanyasya matparaha. Matpara means they do all those karma for me. Ananyena eva yogena mam dhyayantah upasate. And those who do the upasana of doing my dhyana, dhyanantah, doing my dhyana, ananyena eva yogena. This is an important word. Ananya means without thinking of others or other deities, other gods, you can say, other deities. So those who do my dhyana only, tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. Aham means I. Mrityu samsara sagarat tesham aham samudharta. Samudharta means I lift them. I lift them out of this mrityu samsara. Mrityu samsara chakra is there. Samsara chakra. Mrityu janma chakra. So from samsara chakra, from this I lift them. Samudharta. Again, sam is used. Samudharta. I lift them very well. In a very nice way. Nice way is not the nice way to say it, but samudharta. I don't find English words, but bhavamina chirat partha maya aveshata chetasam. And those who invest their mind in me all the time, aveshata chetasam, bhavamina chirat partha, I lift them out of this mrityu samsara. How? Bhavami na chirat. Na chirat means very quickly I do it. Swiftly. Chirat. Chirat means delay. Na chirat means without delay. I do it swiftly. So that is how I say. So what he did previously, people who follow the other path, klesha adhikara. The trouble is more there. They have to go through a lot of troubles. But people who just simply do their karma, everyday duty, arpana to me, I very swiftly, quickly take them out of this samsara sagara. And then he says, Mayeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na samshayaha. Mayi eva manaha adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayi eva ataha urdhvam na samshayaha. He says he again commands, instructs, mayi eva mana adhatsva. In me only keep your mind, invest your mind, adhatsva. And then mayi buddhim nivesha. In me only put your buddhi. Yeah. What is the meaning given there? Buddhi.
It says over here that put all the intelligence in me, all the mind in me, then only that's the easy way.
Nivasishyasi mayeva. So when doing this, what happens? If you do this, what happens? Mayi eva nivasishyasi. You live or stay in me only. Means your mind stays in me only all the time. Ataha urdhvam na samshayaha. Ataha urdhvam. From here onwards, urdhvam. Urdhvam means up. Uplifting happens after this. Now, a little bit, it's also good to discuss what is this mana, buddhi. There is, they say, intelligence, but that's the English word. So here, mana adatsva, manaha buddhi. What is the difference? Mana, we know, mind. Buddhi, there is no English equivalent probably, but we don't know. But what is their role here? Or what do they do? What is the difference between mana and buddhi? Anybody on the phone?
Are they able to play?
Yeah, I think they can hear. Can you hear me?
Mahoday.
Yeah.
Consciousness and intelligence.
Yeah. So here, so in Sankhya Darshana, so there are 6 darshanas: Sankhya Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, etc. So that is the Yoga Darshana. But in general, in many of the darshanas, there are some principles are defined. Principles means one is the Panchabhuta. We have Panchabhutas. Which are the Panchabhuta? Prithvi, Vayu, Akasha, Agni, and Jala.
Yeah.
Panchabhutas. And then we have Panchendriya. Indriyas are 5 senses. And then there is Panchatanmatra. Tanmatra means the qualities of these Panchabhutas. For example, Vayu has a Sparsha. Character of Vayu is Sparsha. Character of Prithvi is Gandha. Character of Jala is flowing. Yeah. And then
Vayu you said. Agni.
Agni is
Feeling.
Ushna, or it actually burn, but with Agni, with the help of Agni means any prakasha. You can see. Drishti. Yeah. Yeah. Then so these Pancha Tanmatras are there. Akasha also has. Akasha is everywhere, it is pervading. Because of Akasha, everything exists. Right? Everything exists inside Avakasha. Avakasha is space. So this Pancha Tanmatra, these are principles which are enumerated in the different darshanas we have. So different darshanas might have different number of these principles, but that's fine. So one of them is mana. Now mana is a mind. So what the mind is doing of indriya, is it an indriya? Is it a sensory organ? Is it one of the senses? So we have pancha jnanendriya, we have pancha karmendriya also. Pancha jnanendriya, 5 sensory organs, and pancha karmendriya, which the indriyas which are doing the work, like hands, feet, and those pancha karmendriyas are there. Now mind is the 11th one. We have total dashendriya, pancha karmendriya, pancha jnanendriya, and then the mana is ekadasha. So that is the 11th one. What is it doing? It is actually, so this is also a science, right? So in the biologically what we know, our eye is not actually seeing, our ear is not actually seeing.
Controlling.
Yeah, it goes in somewhere, and that happens there. Mana is receives everything, and then it can also, on the other way, it can also manipulate. It is not just a sensory organ. It also interprets and it also generates this ichcha and instigates the karmendriyas. For the karmendriyas also the instructions are to come from mana, mind. So this mind is like a two-way part. Unlike this karmendriya and jnanendriya. Jnanendriya is one way, karmendriya is going out, output devices, and then the mana is like interpreting both, out and in. That is mana. Now, what is buddhi now? Buddhi does the viveka. Buddhi has the viveka means it interprets what mana gets, and it has to decide which is good, which is bad. Yeah. So mana is just a sensory thing, but right, wrong, it's decided by buddhi. That is that. Now, in this medical, in the modern medicine, medical thing, they may not have differentiated this. The mind is mind, it's everything in the brain. But in our Shastra, these are very clearly separated, segregated. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, all these are separated. So mana is just it is a very very lower level, you can say, right? It's just taking in.
Buddhi would be higher.
Yeah, Buddhi is the one who is deciding. Vivechana is done by Buddhi. So what he is saying here, Mayi eva mana asatsva, you put mind in me, Mayi Buddhi, not only that, Mayi Buddhim niveshaya, with your Buddhi, use your Buddhi, which is able to take this mana, what is input from mana, and it has to interpret which is good, which is bad. Means not only with your mana, not only just look at something and somebody is just saying something and believe in them. Use your Buddhi. Using your Buddhi, come to a conclusion that na samshaya is saying the next one there. Last word is nivasishyasi mai. When you use your Buddhi, when you use your Viveka Shakti, your ability to interpret good and bad, good, not only good and bad, right or wrong, can say, right or wrong, use that. After using that, nivasishyasi mayi eva, when you interpret and come to know, you have proper knowledge that what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong, use that and understand that this is the right way. Then you nivasishyasi mayi eva, then you will be able to understand me and nivasishyasi mayi eva, live in me all the time. Otherwise, if you don't use your Buddhi, somebody can tomorrow say, hey, maybe right, maybe wrong, who knows. So that way it will not be clear to you, you will not be sure about it. Ata urdham na samshayaha. So after that, after using your Buddhi, once you put your drudha nischaya, what is drudha? Drudha means firm. Once you are nischaya, drudha, when it becomes firm, after that, ata urdham, after that, once you come on the track, right track, then ata urdham, after that your upliftment is for sure, na samshayaha, then it is for sure. Otherwise, if you put only mana, then there is always next day it will fall, because if you are not sure, yeah. The next one again, ninth one, atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhatum dhananjaya. Now previously he said, now you put your mana, use your Buddhi, then it will happen like this. Now what happens if I am not able to do it? Yeah. I cannot concentrate on you. Okay. What will happen now? Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram. If you are not able to chitta, now what is chitta? Now this is the third level. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta. Mana is just the lower level, at the sensory level. Buddhi is, from that mana take what is right, what is wrong, separate it, and then Vivechana means separation. Viveka means separation. You do that. And Chitta means, after doing this many times, it goes into your subconsciousness. That is Chitta. Yeah, that becomes your natural. It gets into your blood. Okay. You're not everywhere. So it is internalized. Okay. So then it goes into Chitta. That becomes your Sahaja Vritti, your nature. It becomes your nature. So that is when it becomes Chitta. So now he says, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram. So if you are not able to keep that Chitta firmly in me, then he says, Abhyasa yogena tataha mam ichha aptum dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, hey Arjuna, he is saying Krishna, hey Arjuna, if you are not able to concentrate firmly in me, then Abhyasa yogena tataha mam ichha aptum. Mam aptum ichha. Aptum means to get me. To get me, ichha. Ichha means wish to get me. How? Abhyasa yogena. Abhyasa means practice, by repetition. Yeah, by repetition, repeat, do this. Oh, one day you may not be able to focus, but next day again do that. So by doing this repetitively, do the wish to achieve or get to me. Now here also he uses the word Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, that is one of the names of Arjuna. Why is he called Dhananjaya? So Arjuna is called Dhananjaya historically because he went on a campaign, military campaigns, while this Dharmaraj, his brother, was doing the Rajasvi Yajna. He was doing some sacrifice Yajna. He wanted a wealth for that, a lot of money for that. So these different four brothers go to different directions but Arjuna in that he goes to one direction, this northeast and northwest, and that north direction he gets a lot of money, wealth from all the people, all the kings, the kingdoms. So that from that onwards he is known as Dhananjaya. Dhananjayati, he won all the dhana. But here Dhananjaya is specifically used because Abhyasa Yogena Tato Mamich Dhananjaya means here dhana also means our other kind of wealth. So we should be beyond, we should have conquered the wealth. Wealth means what wealth? Wealth of knowledge, you can say. Or our indriya or sensory organs also, we should overcome them. Then only we will be able to focus on this, on the Bhagavan. Abhyasa yogena tata mam ichchaptum, to get me, do the practice, is saying. The next one. Abhyase pyasamarthosi matkarma paramamo bhava madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim amapsasi. Now, Arjuna might be having the question, so what if I am not able to practice? The practicing is also difficult. So we all know, at least I know, if I sit for this dhyana, even it's not difficult to focus, concentrate on 10 seconds. Okay? Mind goes here and there, here and there. Okay? So what if Arjuna is asking, Abhyasepi asamarth, Arjuna is not asking, but Krishna is telling him, Abhyase api asamarthaha asi matkarma paramaha bhava. What is saying? Oh, suppose if you are unable to practice, okay? Or you may not find time to practice, let's say. Okay? So we are all busy every day, unable to practice, then what are you going to do? Mat karma parama bhava. So do all the work which I like. Which I like means he is Bhagavan. I like means don't think that Krishna likes something, let's do it, or Krishna likes cows. So anything good work, anything, what is good work?
Good karma.
Yeah. Which doesn't hurt anybody like that. All we know that. So do those kind of karma. Mat karma parama bhava. Madarthamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsasi. By doing that kind of work also, duties also, you will achieve the siddhi. You will achieve the siddhi. Yeah. Next one, athai tadapi ashaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarva karma palatyagam tathakkurata. Now he is giving you simpler and simpler ways. People are always complaining, I can't do that, what will I do? So he's saying, some people say, I can't do that, okay, I'm going to just forget everything. It is not possible. But he says, no, if you cannot practice, do the work which are good, which are of my type. Athai tadapya shaktosi, atha tadapi ashaktaha. Even if that is also not possible. Kartum madhyogam ashritah, then sarva karma phalatyagam tathakuru yatatmavan. By at least try to do the sarva karma phalatyaga. So do whatever you want. Okay, you cannot do the good deeds which are of my type, I like. Okay, fine. Then do whatever you want. But at least try to do the sarva karma phalatyagam. The karma phala. What is karma phala? that whatever results you get, then just do Krishnarpanamastu. Just at least say that. You can do the bad deeds, you can do the good deeds, do whatever deed you want, preferably do the good deeds. And you cannot do, you're in such a state, your mind is in such a state, you cannot do a good deed. But at least karma phalatyaga, whatever results is there, ichha mat karo. But if you cannot do the achhe karma, you are not by some reason, you may be a good person, bad person, whatever it is, but at least do this. There are some different levels are there. He is specifying. Okay, at least try this. At least do this. At least do this. At the worst case, you at least to do this. Sarva karma, at least to Krishna Arpana. You say, offer, submit it to me. Finally. What is the next one? 12. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्. Now here each one takes like one whole day to explain, but let's quickly cover it in 5 minutes. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते. Is again putting better to do what and what. Shreya hi, Shreya means better. Jnanam abhyasat. Abhyasat jnanam shreya. Abhyasat means practice. Rather than practice, jnana or knowledge is better, you say. How is that better? Then we'll see what does he say next. Abhyasat jnanam shreya means jnana, knowledge is better than abhyasa. And then he says jnanat dhyanam vishishyate. Dhyana is better than knowledge, he says. Then dhyanat karma phalatyagaha, better than dhyana, karma phalatyaga, abandoning the results of a karma is better than dhyana. Tyagat shanti, after doing it, when you do this kind of tyaga, shantihi anantaram, then you get this, you achieve that shantihi. Yes. Now, what are these, how are these better than one another? Like jnanam abhyasat, from repetition, jnana is better. What is jnana? Knowledge. So abhyasa is also needed after that also, even if you get knowledge. So what he is trying to say, so how these commentaries, how they do this kind of interpretation is, again, just looking at this is a simple meaning, word meaning, right? Just jnana is better than abhyasa, etc. But these commentators, they have to get the reference, they refer to other different sources from other scriptures, and they have to construct the commentaries for that, for us to understand it properly. Shreya hi jnanam abhyasat. Jnanam, abhyasa is needed anyway later, but ajnana purvaka, without knowledge, if you are doing abhyasa, then it's of not much use. If you are doing repetition, suppose we are doing some repetition, let's say some puja or something, yajna, without understanding what it is, without knowing what it is, there will be some benefit. Okay, so we are all do some chant some stotra every day, right? Or whatever, Lalita Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama, whatever stotras are there, we chant, or any other stotra. But without knowing what it means, if we do, then there is some benefit. It's not that there is no benefit. But if there is jnana about it, knowledge about it, what it means, then the effect is multiplied many times. It is like saying, okay, without knowing the meaning, if we chant something, because it has a vibrationary power, vibrations, with that it has effects on our mind, it has effects on our body, etc. But if you have the knowledge, then we understand anusandhana means what it means. then it has much more effect. Then jnana dhyanam ishyate. Without, better than that jnana, just that knowledge, better than that dhyanam ishyate. Dhyana is important. Dhyana also, with jnana, dhyana is more important. Without jnana, we can also do meditation. Without knowing anything about the scriptures, anything about this Bhagavan, etc., Tattva, yeah, it is possible to dhyana. Some in the mind we can imagine some murti or something, vigha, somebody, dhyan, that is also there. But yeah, it has some effect. But if we know the knowledge about that Bhagavan or this universe, these principles, then it multiplies. So these are different ladders in there. And dhyanat karma phalatyaga. So beyond that, karma phalatyaga. With that knowledge, having that knowledge, then karma phala tyaga is better. There is also sakama karma and nishkama karma. So there is a difference here he is putting there. So sakama karma, with sakama means with expectation. You are doing something, that is sakama karma. And nishkama karma is better than that. That's why he is advocating here karma phala tyaga. Nishkama karma. When we have nishkama karma, without expectation we do this karma, then only we will be able to do the tyaga, because we are not interested in that phala results. If we are expecting something, then it becomes sakama. Yeah, with that also there are dhyana people are doing, right? Dhyana, some people do with sakama, with expectation. Some people do without expectation. So what are the examples in our Purana? Like Dhruva, you might have heard the story of Dhruva, right? Dhruva boy, he goes to forest. He basically wanted to sit on the thigh of his father. That's why he goes to forest. And no, this Dhruva, that was Prahlada. The Dhruva's father was Uttanapada. There was a king. Dhruva was thrown out. He was sitting. He tries to go and sit on his father's lap, and then he had two wives. That king. This Dhruva was the son of a queen, which was not of favor to that king, Uttanapada. So the other queen, she comes and he throws him away. Dhruva. He just pushes him away. Then he becomes sad, and then he goes to forest and he does the dhyana of Narayana, and after that Narayana becomes Prakata, and then he gives that boon that Dhruva. He says, what is going to ask? I want to sit on the lap of my father. That is sakama. But because you have done so much bhakti towards me, he gives him the position of Dhruva Nakshatra, star. That is always that above all, and at least our known universe, it revolves around the Dhruva Nakshatra. It's always fixed, right? That nakshatra doesn't move, at least for many years, 27,000 years. It also rotates, but we don't see it. So that Dhruva Nakshatra, he gets that position. So that is sakama karma. Whereas Prahlada was nishkama. Prahlada, Hiranyakashipu's son, he was also saying, I don't want anything. And when Narasimha comes down and he asks him after killing Hiranyakashipu, what do you want? He says, nothing. I just want your devotion. So nishkama karma. So nishkama karma is better than this sakama karma. So he's putting these ladders here.
Light on kare.
Yeah.
You can see. It's light on kore dawo. It's ekhane. Dutoi light on kore dawo. Ar okane to kana aste kore chalu kore dawo.
So those who are on the phone, please feel free to log off anytime you want to. Yeah. This is the backlight. Okay. Next one, 13, 14. How Adveshta Sarva Bhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirhankara Samadukha Sukhakshami. So what are the characters of a bhakta or a devotee here? Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam Adveshta. In all the people, Adveshta means he doesn't do dvesha. He doesn't dislike them. He doesn't dislike anyone.
He's always forgiving.
Huh?
He's always forgiving.
Dvesha means, the not liking. So advesha means he likes everyone. And he doesn't dislike anyone. Then sarva bhutanam, and then maitraha. He is also friendly towards everyone. Maitra. And karunaha. He is karuna or mercy towards everyone. Evacha. Nirmamaha means nirmama. He doesn't have mamata. Swadhimana. He doesn't have that abhimana. I am doing everything. He's not that. Nirmama. Mamata nasti. Then nirahankara. Ahankara is not there. Ahankara means pride. Ego is not there. Samadukha sukha kshami. Samadukha sukha. He looks dukkha and sukha equally. So these one again get into a lot of discussions. How can one look dukkha and sukha say similarly? So that question comes, but we will not. Just simple meaning is he looks sukha, dukkha, everything is same for him. That doesn't much get disturbed by these variations. Kshami means tolerant. He is tolerant towards this variations, any kind of dukkha, sukha, dukkha, shita, ushna, mana, apamana, etc. He tolerates. And santushtaha satatam yogi yatatma dhrudha nishchayaha. Santushtaha means content. He is always content. Because he knows that everything is controlled and done by this Paramatma Ichcha, and he is, because of his Ichcha, everything moves on. So he is content. He doesn't, though that doesn't mean that he is just sitting idle there and not doing nothing. Oh, everything is done by me. I'm not going to do anything. He does his duties. He does his everyday duties, but he is content. He is not dukkha, sukha. He is not disturbed. Satatam yogi, always yogi, means he is thinking. He joined with this Paramatma. Yatatma drudhanishchayaha. Yatatma, always trying. Drudhanishchayaha, with firm minds. And mayarpita manobuddhihi yomad bhakta samepriya. One who is mayi arpita manobuddhihi, one who has submitted his mind and buddhi. Both again he comes. Mana buddhi, manobuddhi, mind and buddhi, because he has done only drudhanishchaya. Then he gets that firm determination, firmness. Otherwise, without buddhi, without analysis and interpreting and making sure of himself, he has to be convinced about it with his buddhi. Then only he can be drudhanishchaya. That kind of madbhakta, that kind of my devotee, same priyaha, is very priya. Priya means very loving to me. I love him very much. Then we get to the next one.
15.
15. Yasman no dvijate loko lokan no dvijate cha yaha harsha marsha bhayodvega mukto yas sachame priyaha. Yasmat na udvijate lokah lokat na udvijate cha yaha harsha amarsha bhaya udvega muktah yaha sa cha me priyaha. So again, the characters of a good bhakta. Yasmat na udvijate lokah. Lokah means the people around here. Na udvijate, they don't get, what is the meaning in English? Udvega?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Right. They are not. They don't get anxiety from him. And lokat na udvijate, and he is also not get that anxiety from others. So he is just neutral. And then harsha, amarsha. Harsha, so he doesn't get harsha, overly joy. Amarsha, harsha, amarsha, bhaya. Amarsha, marsha means mercy. Amarsha, he is not merciless. And then bhaya, he doesn't fear anything. Udvega, again udvega mukta, it is not anxiety, anxious. Yeah. Pri, yaha sa cha me priyaha. This kind of person, I love him. Then the next one is anapekshaha shuchihi dakshaha udasinah gatavyathaha sarvarambha prityagi yaha mahadbhaktah same priya. Again, whom I like? Anapekshaha, who doesn't expect anything. Apeksha nasti, so he doesn't get anything. And then shuchihi, impartial, anapeksha. Then shuchihi, clean both, like bahya shuchi, abhyantara shuchi, externally, internally. With mind also is clean, externally clean. Kayena vacha manasa, so that with body, mana, and vachas means with his tongue also is clean. And daksha means in doing the work. Here the work is interpreted, all the work has been interpreted as work towards God, or godly work, or which is good work in our sense. To do that, he is daksha. Daksha means he is skilled in doing that. And udasina means he is neutral, indifferent to anything. And gatavyatha, he doesn't get distressed by anything. Gatavyatha, sarvarambha parityagi. Sarva arambha parityagi. Here, this is a bit controversial word, right? Sarvarambha parityagi is, parityaga means he abandons everything. Sarvarambha. Arambha means starting. Sarva means everything. So he is not interested in starting anything, it means. No. What does it mean? Starting anything means, is he not going to start anything? Yes, he is going to start everything. He is going to do all the duties. But those duties have to be good duties, good work. Then in that he is interested. Otherwise, in anything else, he is not interested. Yaha madbhaktaha, that kind of bhakta is, I like him. Then, yo na hrushyati na dveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubhashubha parityagi bhaktiman yas same priya. So in every shloka is emphasizing this bhakti. Yo na hrushyati, one who doesn't get excited, means overjoyous. And then, na dveshti, when something good happens, bad happens, na dveshti is also, what is the no, dveshti.
Dvesha is desired. Get angry or get sad about something. Dvesha is get
grieving.
No.
Like try to get revenge.
Yeah.
So
Dvesha means disliking. No dveshti. Previously I have said adveshta sarvabhutanam. Same thing is again reiterating. Yo na hrushyati na dveshti, one who doesn't dislike anyone, one who doesn't, again previously also he has said harsha amarsha, again he is reiterating na hrushyati, na shochati, one who doesn't be sorrow. And then na kankshati, he doesn't expect anything, doesn't ichha nasti, wish for anything, desire. Then shubha ashubha parityagi, shubha ashubha parityagi, yeah, they are same thing to him, equal. Then bhaktiman ya same priya, but he does bhakti in me, that kind of person I like. Then the last one, next one, samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayoho. There are three more. शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समस्सङ्गविवर्जितः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च. In Shatru and Mitra, he looks in a similar way. It was it. समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः. Now here the question comes, samah shatrau cha mitre cha. So how is it possible? In mitra also same, shatru also same. How can we
treat everyone equally, your friend and your foe?
Yeah, so if neutral in the sense,
Be impartial.
Be impartial. Equal in the sense, do not get entangled or don't get emotional into that, but do the right thing. That is what I mean. Otherwise, Krishna himself is saying, yeah, they kill those Kauravas. Then if Samashatra, Mitra, everything, why kill Kauravas? Let's just leave everything and go home. Which Arjuna was already saying. But he is not saying that. He is saying that, so the interpretation here is equal means not everybody is equal. That is equal in the sense, don't get emotional. Yeah, I need to kill him. This is so, kill their bad characters, not hate their bad characters, not personally. That's what he is trying to say. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manapamanayo. Mana apamana, obviously everything is of Bhagavad Ichcha. So mana apamana for you should be same. You should not be disturbed by them. And Shita Ushna Sukha Dukkeshu, Shita, Ushna, cold, hot, means different variations. And Sukha Dukkha, Eshu Samaha, Sangha Vivarjitaha. Sangha Vivarjita comes in from second chapter. Everywhere he says Sangha, Nishkama. So the principles are same. Sangha Vivarjita. Don't get attached with anything.
I'm listening. Okay, you keep
Then, Tulya Ninda Stutirmoni Santushto Yena Kenachit Aniketa Sthiramatihi Bhaktiman Me Priyo Naraha. Tulya Ninda Stutihi. Ninda. Somebody curses you, Ninda or Stuti. They should be treated equally. Mauni means Mitabhashi, not talking much. And Santushtaha, again content, Ena Kenachit. Ena Kenachit means whatever comes, he is content. Ena Kenachit, Santushtaha. Aniketaha. Aniketaha means one who, literal meaning means one. Niketa means home. Aniketa, one who doesn't stay in the same place for a long time, like a sannyasi. Means who is not interested in one particular thing. He is not fixated on one thing. Hey, this is my house, so what happens if I lose it or something? Aniketaha. This is one interpretation. Then another interesting interpretation. Means Bhagavan. Just means Brahma, Bhagavan, Parabrahma. Niketa means Brahma is his abode. The bhakta who thinks that Paramatma as his Niketana means his home or abode. So that kind of bhakta. And Sthiramatihi, one who has, again, Dhrada, firm mind. Bhaktiman me priya nara. That kind of nara or manushya is one who has bhakti. I like him. And the last one. Now, last sloka, 20th sloka is a summary. So what happens here? Etu dharmyamritamidam yathoktam. Summary means is what is the use of doing all this? Summarizes that. Etu dharmyamritamidam yathoktam paryupasate shraddhathana matparama bhaktaste tiva me priyaha. Etu dharmyamritamidam. So far what I said, everything is, this is like amrita. It is like dharmyamrita. Dharma amrita. It is like the amrita of this dharma. Yathoktam paryupasate. How I have said, like that who practices this, like that people who do the upasana, like this what I have said, like this, all this advesha, Rishna, Rishati, Marsha, so Udvega, all this free, Tulindas, who do all this? Shraddhathana matparama. Shraddhadhana. Shraddhadhanaha. People means Shraddha. Shraddha means astikya. People who believe. with their knowledge, right? Who believe in me with correct knowledge, matparamaha, they do all their duties towards me, bhaktaha, those kind of bhaktaha, devotees, ativa me priyaha, they are very, very loving to me. Okay. With that, Dwadashodhyaya samapta. Krishna completes his Dwadasha Adhyaya of Bhagavad Gita. Iti Srimad Mahabharate Gita, Yoga Shastre Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade Bhaktiyogo Nama Dwadashodhyaya. Iti 12th chapter is finished. Samaptaha. We'll stop here. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
धन्यवादः महोदय.
धन्यवादः. नमस्कारः.